Will the House please come to order and members kindly take their seats? Good morning. The devotional today will be led by Representative Ken Wells of Brownington.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning. I hope you've all thawed out from the weekend, and thank you for the chance to give the morning reflection. My dad, Dean Edward Wells, was born in 1930 on the living room floor of his parents' house in Albany, Vermont. He was a logger, a farmer, and a musician who played many instruments and sang lead in a local band. My dad was also a big fan of Mike Wallace. I had sent for a signed photo of Mr. Wallace years ago, and he graciously sent one back, mistakenly signed to me. Luckily, my name wiped off with a little rubbing, and I was able to write in my father's name. Dad liked Walter Cronkite a lot, too. The fact that Dad liked these guys never got in the way of him taking what they had to report to heart. When Richard Nixon was up to his armpits in Watergate, Dad kept on cutting logs. When the Carter years gas shortage commenced, what did he do? He kept right on milking cows. When the report about Chernobyl was being aired, Dad understood it and felt concern. But once a commercial came on, the disaster was gone and he focused on his music. When NASA was getting the job done and being covered accordingly, Dad was certainly thrilled and in awe of the men and women doing the work, but away from the tube, all thoughts of spaceships slipped from my father's mind. The war in Vietnam brought huge television coverage. Every night it led the news, and my dad was a compassionate guy. So he must have had some earnest thoughts about it, but all I know is I can't remember Dad ever talking about the war when he wasn't viewing the coverage on the tube. I never heard Dad complain of a headache either. His happiest TV moment that I do remember was when boxer Smoking Joe Frazier knocked Muhammad Ali to the canvas in Madison Square Garden in the early 70s. The most content I saw my dad watching TV was during episodes of his all-time favorite TV show, Gunsmoke. Change is the word of the moment. Would laying off watching the news change us? Would we complain less about headaches and stress? Would we be less afraid of what we can't control in the first place? Would we be happier, healthier, wiser, and better rested? Would we be less inclined to complain about a cloudy day? Would we hold the door for our neighbor without exception? Would we be more gracious, more full of gratitude? Would we have more time to do the things that really matter, like send people notes and cleaning the crumbs from behind the toaster? Would we grow juicier tomatoes? Would we sprout wings and fly? You know what I think? Laying off watching the news would change us all for the better. Therefore, I personally resolve to cut down on all networks and their approach to broadcasting. Of course, to see what time the church ham and bean supper is, or whose kid scored the winning goal in the hockey game, or what local teacher just won Teacher of the Year, you can still turn to your community newspaper, and I'm all for that. May you all be graced with good health this year, and may you all flourish in 2026, with or without TV and beyond. Thank you.
Will you please rise as Paige Brogan-Millay of Pittsburgh leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Members, we have 5 bills for introduction today. The first is House Bill 891, which is an act relating to amending the definition of harassment in Title 16. Introduced by Representative Burrows of West Windsor. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 891, an act relating to amending the definition of harassment in Title 16.
Now, the bill's been read the first time and is referred to the Committee on Education. Next is House Bill 892, which is an act relating to school attendance requirements, introduced by Representative Burrows of West Windsor. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 892, an act relating to school attendance requirements.
Now, the bill's been read the first time and is referred to the Committee on Education. House Bill 893 is an act relating to creating the Municipal Emergency Shelter Program and reimbursing municipal corporations for costs associated with emergency housing programs, introduced by Representative Booten of Berry City. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 893, an act relating to creating the Municipal Emergency Shelter Program and reimbursing municipal corporations for costs associated with emergency housing programs.
Now, the bill's been read the first time and is referred to the Committee on Human Services. Next is House Bill 894, which is an act relating to prohibiting the use of snowmobiles on the BB Spur Rail Trail, introduced by Representatives Page of Newport City and Labor of Morgan. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 894, an act relating to prohibiting the use of snowmobiles on the BB Spur Rail Trail.
Now, the bill has been read the first time and is referred to the Committee on Transportation. And finally, House Bill 895 is an act relating to secondary enforcement of certain motor vehicle violations, introduced by Representative Tomlinson of Winooski and others. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 895, an act relating to secondary enforcement of certain motor vehicle violations.
Now, the bill has been read the first time and is referred to the Committee on Judiciary. Members, we have a bill on the notice calendar requiring referral to a money committee pursuant to House Rule 35A. House Bill 566 is an act relating to sealing post-charge court diversion records upon successful completion, affecting the revenue of the state. The bill is referred to the Committee on Ways and Means. Members, we have received a request to read a House concurrent resolution that the House and Senate adopted pursuant to the consent calendar. House HCR 166 is a House concurrent resolution congratulating the Pick and the Shovel in Newport City on its golden anniversary. Please listen to the reading of the resolution.
Whereas in 1975, the Hamblett family established the Pick and Shovel, an amazing retail emporium in a complex of interconnected downtown Newport City buildings where it had owned businesses for generations. And whereas since opening day, the Pick and Shovel has been home to an unparalleled shopping experience, and the store proudly proclaims that if we don't have it, you don't need it. And whereas this retailer's imposing configuration, a maze of lengthy corridors and adjacent sales spaces, can require employees to guide customers to their desired destinations. And whereas the unbelievable scope of the inventory includes apparel, including a broad selection of footwear, small and large appliances, building supplies, farm merchandise, hardware, heating equipment, home care, and decor products, a kids section filled with toys, lawn accessories, maple sugaring components, unusual pets and pet merchandise, and patio and pool furniture. And the Pick and Shovel also offers a variety of in-house consumer services. And whereas among the food products on sale at the Pick and Shovel are specially packaged maple syrup, Tim and Doug's delicious ice cream served on-site seasonally, and sundry other delectable munchies. And whereas the collection of Vermont swag for sale fulfills the dreams of the most discerning gift and souvenir hunters. And whereas the Hamblett family and their employees can take great pride in the Pick and Shovel's half-century of extraordinary retailing. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives that the General Assembly congratulates the Pick and Shovel in Newport City on its golden anniversary, and be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be directed to send a copy of this resolution to the Pick and Shovel.
Are there any announcements? Member from Newport City.
Madam Speaker, we have just listened to the reading of the resolution celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Pick and Shovel in Newport City. Beginning and growing a business in the best of times is a difficult task, but looking back at the origins of the Pick and Shovel, it must not have been easy, since the U.S. economy at that time was still in the midst of high unemployment and inflation. Despite this, The pick and shovel was able to fill a void that was needed, and the Hamlet family has continued to find further ways to serve and attract customers to its business. We know that the pick and shovel was established by the Hamlet family in 1975, but what you may not know is that the Hamlet family has been serving the citizens of Newport and beyond in a variety of ways since 1916, where the family opened its first store called the Newport Bakery, which was home of Lucky Bread. For members of this body who have never visited the pick and shovel, I would advise not to delay your visit and to start planning your trip to Newport and the pick and shovel soon. In fact, come this winter and return again this summer. Members, you will not be disappointed. Madam Speaker, I would now like to introduce to the body from the Pick and Shovel, which is a store with the helpful hardware folks, owner Chris Hamlet and his wife Karen. Please join me in wishing the Hamlet family another 50 years of service. They are sitting behind me in the gallery. Thank you.
Will the guest of the member from Newport City please rise and be recognized? Member from Calais.
Madam Speaker, it's my great pleasure to welcome to the People's House representatives from Vermont Law and Graduate School. Vermont Law and Graduate School is celebrating, Madam Speaker, this year its 50th anniversary. The school had, as I'm sure many members know, Madam Speaker, the school has seated the legislature, but also many of the people who work for the state, the bar, and others with its graduates. Its 6 clinics and its volunteer income tax program has provided over $20 million worth of volunteer time to the state. So, Madam Speaker, would you please welcome Dean Beth McCormick, Dean of the Law School, Dean Dan Blomberg, Dean of the Graduate School, Vice President Shirley Jefferson, and Vice President David Salone, and last but not least, Katie Merrill, Dean of Admissions. Thank you.
Will the guest of the member from Calais please rise and be recognized? Are there any further announcements? Member from Weston.
Madam Speaker, I wanted to share the exciting news that a friend and neighbor, Ben Ogden of Landgrove, Vermont, and alumna of Stratton Mountain School, won the Olympic silver medal in the Nordic Classic Sprint yesterday or today. First American to medal in cross country since another friend and neighbor, Bill Koch, did it in 1976. I'd like to think it's because we hired Ben to spread compost all over our garden for 3 summers in a row, but it's probably due to his family and his training. So let's congratulate Ben. He's still got a few more races, so he could come back with some more medals.
Congratulations. Are there any further announcements? Member from Calais.
Madam Speaker, I move that the Committee on General and Housing be relieved of House Bill 403, which is an act relating to fair labor standards and housing standards for agricultural workers, and that the same be committed to the Committee on Agriculture, Food Resilience, and Forestry.
The member from Calais moves that the Committee on General and Housing be relieved of House Bill 403, which is an act relating to fair labor standards and housing standards for agricultural workers, and that the same be committed to the Committee on Agriculture, Food Resiliency, and Forestry. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have relieved the Committee on General and Housing of House Bill 403 and committed the same to the Committee on Agriculture, Food Resiliency, and Forestry. Are there any further announcements? Member from Cambridge.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. A reminder that the Rural Caucus will meet tomorrow morning from 8 to 8:45 in room 10 and on Zoom. All are welcome.
Member from Norwich.
Hi, thank you, Madam Speaker. I am so proud of our Vermont native Ben Ogden, but I do have to demand equal time for Jessie Diggins, who is an American woman skier. We sometimes don't pay attention to the woman athletes, who's won 3 World Cups, 3 Olympic medals, and 7 World Championships. So we have wonderful skiers.
Congratulations to her as well. Are there any further announcements? Member from Waitsfield.
Madam Speaker, on the topic of the Olympics, I also want to share that Waitsfield, new resident to Waitsfield, and my neighbor, Paula Moltzon, just won bronze in the slalom. Also another woman skier. So,
Again, another congratulations. Great. Are there any further announcements? Member from Stowe.
Yeah, you know, I care about accuracy, so I laud all of the medal winners or participants, but Paul Moulton, in fact, won the Alpine combined. The slalom won't take place for another 5 days. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
And member from Wolcott.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Older Vermonters Caucus will meet tomorrow in room 10 and continue our discussion on housing with an overview on residential long-term care and what will these care providers look like in the next 5 to 10 years. Thank you.
Are there any further announcements? Seeing none, orders of the day. Members, we have one bill on our action calendar today. House Bill 611 is an act relating to miscellaneous provisions affecting the Department of Vermont Health Access. Please listen to the third reading of the bill.
H 611, an act relating to miscellaneous provisions affecting the Department of Vermont Health Access.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have passed the bill. Members, that completes the orders of the day. Are there any further announcements? Member from Essex Junction.
Madam Speaker, House Democrats World Caucus in room 11, 10 minutes after the floor.
Member from Poultney.
Madam Speaker, House Republicans will caucus 10 minutes following floor in room 10.
Member from Burlington.
Madam Speaker, House Progressives will caucus at noon in room 44 with Housing and Homelessness Alliance of Vermont and End Homelessness Vermont as guests. All are welcome.
Member from Swanton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Over the weekend, I was visited by the ghost of Chair 72, and they sent a message now that football is over. It's important for the House to get focused and be reminded that there are only 35 days until March Madness. Thank you.
Are there any further announcements? Member from Shaftesbury.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I hope that members all saw the email over the weekend from the Secretary of the Agency of Agriculture, Anson Tebbetts, inviting us this afternoon at 4:30 to join him and several special guests in the cafeteria for producer night. There'll be farmers and food producers from all over the state attending, and I think they'll have samples, so please join us.
Are there any further announcements? Seeing none. Member from Poultney, can you please offer us a motion to adjourn until Wednesday, February 11th at 3:30 p.m.?
Madam Speaker, I make a motion this body stand in adjournment until Wednesday, February 11th, 2026 at 3:30 p.m.
You have heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and this body stands in adjournment until